Okay, in this question, we are in this lesson, we're going to program a question where we are going to use the range function. We're going to use the sine and cosine mode. Well, I'm going to use just the sine so you can see something. And then I'm going to explain to you. And we're going to use a predefined figure. After this, I'll create another question where well, I'm going to define the figure in the program. Yeah. And there's advantages and disadvantages. So I created a figure already. So, but let me just show you. So first, make sure you open your question bank editor. And then I'm gonna create new. I'm gonna call it solving right triangle. And then we're gonna solve for the side. Yeah. And I'm gonna use the same title for the subtitle. And this is what shows in your test bank when you open it. So it's different from the title. So I'm gonna keep them all the same. Okay. And I'm gonna save it with the exact same name. So I'm gonna call it save as, and then I'm just gonna call it solving right triangles. Oh, I forgot the T. I'm glad I noticed it right now. And so I guess I'm not very good. Okay, spelling. There it is. So let me fix this. So that's the bad thing when you misspell something, and then you copy and paste, you end up with double the error. So there you go. But we cut this. Okay. So we're gonna create a just a simple question. So I'm gonna create a multiple choice question, and then I'm gonna make it. I like numeric better, but I'm just gonna make it multiple choice. So I'm gonna create a new multiple choice question for those of you who like multiple choice, and just so that we can create this. Okay, so I'm gonna say solve for, let me see, solve solve for the missing okay, solve for the side marked P on the right triangle shown below. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a Partition. And so that is my Partition. And I'm going to say, I want to see the dotted so that I can know where to place my variables. And so I'm going to apply this. And then I will go to my axis. Okay, so we're good. Now I'm going to insert, I will insert a picture. I already created my picture in Paint and I put it on desktop. I use a size of 220 by 170. That seems to work best for me. And so I select my picture and I put it in JPEG because they use less memory. Notice I call this right triangle 53 because the base angle I made it 53, and I want my triangle to be somewhat proportional to the measurement. There it is. So I need to write the number in here, and let me see. So it was right triangle 53. Again, because the base angle when I created it was 53 degrees. And again, notice that the height is 7.4, half of 7.4 is 3.7. The width is 7.3, half of 3 is 3.650. So it centers my triangle on the the picture. So that's kind of nice. So I'm gonna apply this, and I want you to notice that the picture right here shows a triangle. Okay, and I should have made it a little bit larger. So I'm gonna say okay. Okay, so let me make this a little bit larger. And oh, so there you go. Okay. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna create my variables. So Control D. I am going to new. I'm gonna say I'm gonna create the angle P. So angle P, that's the base angle, and it's going to be the range is gonna go from 52. So from 52 to 66. And the reason why I use these values is because it's almost, it's not quite proportional, but it's almost proportional, okay? So there it is. I created my base angle. And if you take a protractor, you can measure this as close to these values, okay? So now I'm going to create the value of R, this value, so which is PQ, but I'm going to call it R. So little r, it goes from a range. Now look at this. I'm going to go from 8 to 64, and then I will go and accept so 4. And so, wait, I didn't put the 4. Okay, there you go. And I'm going to close it. And so again, this, what it will do, it will assign values to the side R from 8 to 64. And I can label it if I want to. Okay, we'll see it right now. Then I want to create want to find QR. So I'm going to call this P. So P. And, yeah. And it's going to be the value of R multiply the asterisk means multiplication. Now multiply by the sine of, now the sine function in C and in Examview uses C. So it uses only the radian. So I need to compare or to cast that's what we call it in programming. I need to cast the angle into that. So now notice that I call this angle P. So I'm going to call it so angle P. So I am casting the degrees into radians because again, Examview and C++, they only use that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. And what I want to do is I am going to go to 1 decimal. So 1 decimal. There you go. And this allows you to control how many decimals you're going to place in it. Now, so I'm done with this. I'm going to create a multiple choice. Now I need some, I need a distractor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. So, okay. So a good distractor will be a common mistake that a student will do. So a student, if I press tab, it takes me to the new. A student may use cosine. And so if somebody is clueless, so I'm going to say this is Q. And then it will be the same formula before, but instead of sine, it's going to be cosine. So this is a good distractor. And again, I will place here, I'll go 1 decimal. And that way I can create good distractor. And again, another student might say, you know, I'm going to call it P wrong 1. When they don't know, they just put anything. So they might even say tangent. Yeah? So let's put tangent. And you can create whatever distractors you want. And again, I'm gonna place 1. I like to do this also. I like to create a, so notice I got the correct answer, and then I got 2 wrong answers. So I'm gonna create 2 more distractors. I like to create something called an error. Yeah, and I'm gonna call it error 1. And let me tell you why I do this. And I can create an error that goes from negative 0.25 to 0.25, and then in steps of 0.25. Let me tell you what this does. It will create an error of 25% of my actual value. And what it will do, it will, sometimes it will go above, sometimes it will go below, because some of the students are real smart and they're lazy and they don't want to do the math. And so what they do, which is a really good thing, they guesstimate. And so I had a student who was in credit before with the first programs, the first questions I programmed. He will guesstimate and he will always get 100%, and he will finish in 3 minutes. And the kids will say, how do you do it so quickly? He will study the questions and he will get the algorithm. And so I started putting this, that he could not guess anything. And so let me create another error. So I'm gonna call this error 2. And then this one, I'm gonna go, and you can go any range. I'm gonna go negative 0.35, or negative 0.40, no, 0.35. It doesn't really matter. And then 0.35, and then the steps of 0.35. Again, this is to avoid the guessers, yeah, the smart guessers. And then they show off to the students and they want to show them shortcuts, and this will not do that for them. It will avoid it. So what I'm going to do now is I can do this. I can create a P wrong 2, and then I can just say it will be P, let me see, and then times, and then what I'm going to do this, let me see. Okay, that's the answer. That's the correct answer. So I'm going to take that correct answer, and then I'm going to multiply by 1 plus the error 1. Oh, so here's what happens. Again, this is the correct answer. If you multiply 1 plus the error, sometimes it will go above, sometimes it will go below. And so it will be really difficult for a student to guesstimate. They can still guesstimate, but they will get it wrong 66% of the times. And so I was gonna copy and paste this, Control-C. Now look at this. Now what I can do when I create a new one, so this is P wrong 2, oh, wrong 3, right? And so I can take the same one, but now I got error 2. And so it is super difficult for a student to guess the correct answer. Again, I give them credit for being super smart, but then they want to teach the other students how to take shortcuts. Now let's take a look at this, okay? So here's my question, and I will insert the values right now. So I can take this and I can enter. I like to put boxes. There are 2 ways to do it. You can use a point or you can use a text box. I'm going to use a text box. And then I want to place the value right here, close to the center. So I'm going to take the value of R. So that's the value of R. And then let me use a font of 16 and black letters. It has worked best for me in the past. So 16. And so there it is. Yeah, the value of R. And I'm going to place it at 0. Let me see. 1, 0. Let's see what happens. And so apply it. And there it is. Now notice that it has no value yet. And then I am going to place an X right here on the QR. So I'm gonna put new, and I wanna place a box right here. And so, and I'm gonna put an X only. So an X, and I need a font of 16. That is my variable. That's what the students are looking for. So I place 16, and I like to put it in boldface. So apply, and okay, I'm a 0, 0. I want it right here. So I'm gonna go a negative 3.5. So negative 3.5. And let's see that's good. Okay, negative 3.2. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Okay. And so I press OK and I apply it. And there it is. Now, okay. I also need to put the angle there. So new text box. And then what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put the angle. So this is the angle P, yeah. And I'm gonna choose a font again, 16, and you will see what happens once you get the values, once you activate it. So I press OK, and I'm gonna apply it. Now notice that it shows angle P there, so I want it about right here. So I want it at about 0, negative 2. So 0, oh, 0, negative 2, I'm okay there. So negative 2, and then there it is. And let's see what happens. Now let's activate some values. I'm gonna press OK, and I'm gonna say activate the values. Now notice one thing, I do not have units. I can create another box and put centimeters there, and I can put degrees there. Notice that 62 is kind of too high. So I can go back, and then I can say, well, you know what? The angle didn't look good there. So let's put the angle. So I'm gonna put it a little bit lower. So I'm gonna put it at 0.5. That's a little better. And I'm gonna put it at negative 2.3. And let's see what it looks like now. That is good, maybe 2.4. Now I need to put a degree there, and I'm gonna put centimeters on. So I'll create another text box. And so for R, let me get a new text box. New text box. I'm just gonna put degrees and centimeters. So I'm gonna put centimeters. I don't have a variable that says centimeters. And so I'm gonna go 16. There's another way to put it there. It requires planning. And so I need to go 0, and I need to go, let's see, 2. See what it looks like now. Oh, 2, 0, sorry. 2 and 0. That's a little bit too close. So 2.4, apply. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah. So the center of centimeters is 2.4. So I think that looks good. I think it looks very decent. So I'm gonna apply it there. I need to put a text box for the degrees. And so I'm gonna put, let's see, let's put a little 0 or an O. I'm gonna put a lowercase o, and then I am going to bold, and then I want it to look like a degree there. So I'm gonna say okay, and oh, I need to put it on this spot. So the address, if you will, it will be 2. Let me see, 1.1 negative 2. Let's see if we get it correct. 1.1 negative 2. And I was almost there, so I needed to be at 1.3. Let's see what, I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks perfect. And so, and that's how you create this. Now I need to enter the, let me make this disappear, the background. So I don't need the little dots anymore. I do not need the X or the Y. So I'm gonna erase the X, the Y. I don't want tick marks. I don't want a line. I don't want a line for the X and the Y axis. And I don't need a tick mark. So there it is. I have a clean picture. I can now make it smaller if I want to. I'll just say I want it about this. I don't want it to take a lot of space, you know. So there you go. And this is pretty well centered. We saw that. Okay, there it is. You can go a little bit farther. We would have to be super. Here you go. Okay. I need to enter the answer. So I'm going to put the answer in the first one. I'm looking for psi p. So I'm going to add, so insert variable. I'm going to put psi p. Okay, I'll just put p. And then I'm going to put centimeters. And that's going to be my answer. Even though I could have called it X in this. Oh, Mars psi p. I put p on it. Okay. I'll put p. I'll change that. X. Like, let me do it right now because I didn't realize. Oh, I cannot call it p. Okay, because that's a variable. So I'm gonna mark X. There you go. That's good. That's good. Nothing wrong. And then I'm gonna enter my errors. You know, the distractors, what we call. So Q is a distractor because that's this value, and I'll put centimeters, and then I will enter the variable, and that will be P wrong 1. That's the one that has the 25% error, and then insert. Oh, I got the tangent, so oh, that's the tangent, and then this is P wrong 2, the centimeters. And then I created another one. Created another distractor, P variable. And then centimeters. Now take a look at this. When I click on this, look at the beauty. This is 56 centimeters. My answer is 49. Now notice one thing. I get something close to 49 and get something close to 49. But I got a huge error. I can lower the error. Let me see. View. Oh, that's the variable names. That's a P wrong 1. That's a tangent. Yeah, tangent. Let me see wrong 2 and wrong 3. Take a look at it. This is 25 centimeters away from the correct answer of 47. And this one is 30.5. Oh, what a consistency. We got the same answer. We don't want that. Yeah. And so I'm gonna have to change the percent, or I can use the uniqueness of it. Yeah. So let me show you how to avoid this. Now notice that these don't change. I don't want it to change yet because I want to analyze the numbers. And I want it to be close to 12.9 for the guesses. Remember, these two are the guesses. So let me do this. Let's see, let me put this a little bit higher to save space. Anyway, so that's what do you do now? Well, what I can do now is Control D. I can scramble the answers. So let me change the error. I'm going to change this to 15%. It doesn't matter. I can put it 20%, and then 20%. That way we will never get the same answer as the other one. And I'm going to go 0.20%. Yeah, I could have left it as 0.2. And then I'll put this as 0.25. And usually I have a plan. So there you go. What I need to do now is I need to scramble the question. So I go to new, and there is a variable called scramble. And that's a binary. So it's either true or false. So I want to say true. I press OK. Now look at what happens now. If I go over here, my answer is B, my answer is C, my answer is D. Now these angles are somewhat proportional. So I'll come and redefine this. And so And again, I will improve this question, and this is a multiple choice. You can also make this question if you're one of those teachers who likes to grade them by hand. You can make it bimodal, and if you make it bimodal, you get this little red dot. You press the bimodal. Now this one is open-ended, and the student has to solve it, and then you grade it by hand. I don't know. I don't mind using multiple choice. And then another thing about multiple choice, if you upload it to Schoology, to Blackboard, it will be graded by itself, you know, so you don't have to do anything. There is another way for Schoology and all of those to grade it. I'm going to talk about it later. So happy programming.